Hey, what up? It's Brad with Home Love Construction, and in this video, I want to give you the expectations of what you should expect during a remodel. In case you don't know who I am, my name's Brad. I run Home Love Construction. We do between 40 and 60 projects per year in the Tampa Bay area. And so by doing that, we get to experience a lot of renovations. We also get to talk and get feedback from a lot of homeowners while they're going through their renovation. And I want to give you an idea of what to expect during your remodel, whether it's us doing it, whether it's another contractor doing it, maybe you even live in a different country. What you're going to expect during your remodel is basically the same no matter who's doing it, or at least it should be generally. So the first thing is dust. If you are living in the house during the renovation, there's going to be dust everywhere. This is for a couple of different reasons. One, when you pull up the finished flooring in a room, like if we were to just pull the flooring up in here right now, the floor is nice and clean. It's got like the tile. It's like it literally it's reflective. It's so clean. If we were to take this flooring out and vacuum the room, and we walked through here and walked out into the hallway, every person would track a ridiculous amount of dust on their shoes or on their bare feet out into the hallway, whichever they used. A concrete floor is a dusty floor because it's a rough surface. It collects a lot of dust. And when you remove any construction products, anytime you break something in construction, there's some sort of fine aggregate or dust material as part of it. Drywall is basically compressed dust. Tile is rocks that's molded, and thin set is basically like little pieces of dust once you break it apart. Dust goes everywhere when you're doing demolition, everywhere. I'm talking, you could have a closet that's on the other end of the house from your kitchen and the shoebox up in the back of it with, you know, your loafers in it. That thing will have dust in it in 2 years when you pull it down after your renovation is done. It's to that crazy of an extent. And I don't want to be crazy here, and there are things that we do personally in ways that other contractors get around this, but the bottom line is dust is an inevitability inside of a building. Now, the good news is once everything's down, the new flooring is down, the cabinets are in, the countertops are on, blah, 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 it's actually quite easy to clean the dust up, because think about how easy dusting is. You dust and the dust is gone. So keep in mind that during the renovation though, before your floors go in, and I'd say really until it's basically done, there's going to be dust. The biggest thing that takes that away is putting the floor in. It does help a lot, but there's still even dust on a new floor, even if it's protected with paper and stuff like that. So that's the first big thing to expect during a renovation is dust. The second thing is timeline. When you're doing a renovation, in our renovations, the way that we do them, it typically involves between 20 and 60 tradespeople on a job. That means 20 to 60 individuals all working to complete a project. The reason it requires so many different people is that we require a lot of different people to do different trades. You can't have the same person that's doing the plumbing do, for example, the drywall. I mean, you could do that, and I've seen people do it, even we've done it in the past before, but it's not advisable. And that's not what we do on our clients' projects, because people who are really good at plumbing tend to be really good at plumbing. But because they're doing plumbing all the time, they don't do drywall. And so it wouldn't make sense to have this person go and do this trade. So we bring in the specialist who's really good at each specific trade, and it lets us get a better final product. And it also allows us to move in a more efficient manner and prevent double work. Now, that said, we are now dependent on all those different trades' individual timelines. And so if something changes in their timeline, it changes our timeline. If our timeline changes, it changes theirs, and it pushes us. So let me give you a real example of that to kind of make it real to you. Let's say you're doing a major bathroom remodel, right? And you do the demolition, and the plumber is supposed to come on Tuesday to put the new valves in and move the drain to where it's supposed to go. And so the plumber comes and does that on Tuesday. But he's not entirely finished. He needs to come back on Wednesday and just do a little adjustment to the drain just to get it to exactly where it needs to be. Now the concrete guy who is supposed to come in on Wednesday and fill the trench that he cut out, and the framer who is supposed to come and put up the studs on the walls to get it ready for drywall and the hardy backer, now they can't come. Now they're pushed today. But they had a job lined up after that because this was supposed to be a quick one. So now we're actually in line behind that job. And you see how this can become a cascading effect to where one little change in the beginning of the job and maybe another one inserted in the middle where something just happens and we just get delayed, that could those 2 days of missed timings could actually lead to 2 to 3 weeks of delay by the time you're at the end of the project, because it really is like a train. A train is, all the cars are connected. In renovations, all the trades are those train cars, and they're all connected, and if one stops, they all stop. And there can even be gaps between the cars. So that's the second thing that I really want to prepare you for, is that a flexible timeline is a must during a renovation. And let me just speak on this for Home Love Construction clients specifically. Other contractors will have different takes on this, but I want you to know directly from me, our standard, and it is not a negotiation, this is not up in the air, this is not something we're open to changing. Our standard and our policy at Home Love Construction is this: the standard of work is never subordinated to the timeline. Or in other words, getting a perfect product and getting it done correctly is more important to us than meeting any timeline. So that's just a stable thing that's in our business. What that allows us to do is say, no matter how, that allows us to basically keep our brand promise of a perfect product, even though there may be an imperfect path in getting there. That is our brand promise, by the way, at Home Love Construction, is a perfect product, but there's not gonna be a perfect path to getting there. Perfect in, obviously whatever we take responsibility for. If we're doing a bathroom renovation, your kitchen's not gonna be perfect because we didn't do it, so on and so forth. So that said, that's the timeline piece. Now, the third thing that I want you to be prepared for during a renovation is unexpected costs. This is a huge button for homeowners. A button meaning like something that gets people excited, maybe gets them a little angry at times. People get a little antsy about this, is unexpected costs. Because let's say, you're doing a whole home renovation. Let's say you own a townhome and you get in there and you open up the walls and the plumber comes in and says, hey, so I don't know if you know this, but your pipes are too small. There's too small of a pipe feeding too many fixtures. You're gonna have bad water pressure when you move in here after we're done if we don't repipe the whole thing with a larger diameter pipe, which allows more water to actually go to the bathrooms. And then you go to your contractor and you say, well, Mr. Contractor, how much does that cost? And he tells you $7,000. And now you think, man, shouldn't they have known that before they went in? And the answer is absolutely not. If contractors had X-ray vision or had the ability to go in and specifically say exactly what was going on behind the walls, we're working on that, by the way. We are working on actually getting a device that can actually give us a scan of behind your walls, so we'll know this for sure. But as of now, in 2022, we don't have that ability. The technology is not here. So in order to take care of that, we put in things that are called hidden defects or unforeseen issues clauses in our contracts, and all contractors do this. It basically says if there's something that we don't see coming into the project, but we have to fix it or you ask us to fix it, there's gonna be additional costs. It's not included in the original quote. So that's an important thing for you to realize, is even if the contractor, even if it's me, even if I'm in your home and I say, this is what it's gonna be, no additional cost, still budget additional costs, because I must be out of my mind that day for some reason to tell you that there won't be any additional costs, because in a lot of situations there is. Now, about 50% of our projects don't have anything like that, I'll tell you that. However, the 50% that do seem to take up the majority of our headspace, and that's what we deal with, is talking people through how it is needed, how it was impossible to know that before, so on and so forth. And this is all handled very professionally, and most contractors know how to handle stuff like this. We certainly do, we train on it. And so you, though, if you're understanding of that thing that can happen, which is more cost cropping up because of whatever we find when we tear out your walls, then you'll be in a better mindset and you won't be surprised, and you won't be having, fights with your spouse or arguments with people at work over that thing, which if you would have known it was coming, it wouldn't have even upset you at all. So that's the third thing that I want to prepare you for. Now, for watching to the end, as a bonus, I'll actually give you a little extra one here that I wouldn't necessarily publicize so widely, but it's that what you should expect during a renovation is you should actually expect tradespeople to be making suggestions on how you should do things, and you need to not be offended by that. Now, that doesn't mean you have to take the recommendations. For example, if a plumber says, why do you need to do 2 shower heads, isn't one enough? You don't need to take that plumber's limited idea of how a shower should be set up, because personally, I think all showers should have 2 shower heads. I'm with you, I agree. But the plumber might have done 1 million showers with only 1 shower head and may think, wow, this person thinks they need 2, that's crazy. But that's his belief. You don't need that to be yours, and as long as you're in good communication with your general contractor, that plumber's opinion, frankly, on how you should set up your shower doesn't matter. Only yours does, and as long as you and your general contractor are on the same page, you're fine. But realize that you will get some of that traffic. You get a little bit of that, people saying things, of like making comments. Don't worry about them. It's your space, it's your decision. I feel like it's like your body, your decision. It's your home, it's your decision. Don't allow other people's limited view of what something could be block you from getting the ideal renovation. So that's a little bonus thing to throw in there, just for you to really be aware. I want you, my goal for doing content like this is for you to be able to go into a project, even if you live in Nome, Alaska, and be very savvy and know exactly what's going on. Now, my intent is not to encourage people to be savvy in the way that they might think of like working down the contractor or like getting them to lower their price. I don't think that that's a good, I believe in exchange, but you should also know what's going on at the same time. So if this brought you value and you feel like, hey, I'm probably a little bit more prepared to take on a renovation at this point, please hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel here at Home Love Construction. It does help me a lot, and it helps us to reach more people, do more business, make more videos about our experiences. So if this brought you value, please hit the subscribe button. That said, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Appreciate your attention. Peace.